What's going on, everybody? This is P-Rod, Paul Rodriguez, professional skateboarder, Nike SB skater, primitive skateboards and apparel founder, and I'm here with my boy Taboo on Comics and Kicks.
Hola amigos, welcome to a great episode of Taboo's Comics and Kicks. Okay, so I'm rocking my Nike gear today because the guest I have is such an influential figure, not only for his history as a proud Mexicano, but what he's done for skate culture, what he's done for folks that look like us, brown kids that have dreams and aspirations of one day being on any type of platform, being able to provide inspiration for others. This man has been an 8-time X Games winner, medal winner, excuse me. He was part of a documentary that I was also part of, along with our great late brother, Kobe Bryant. The documentary was called I Am Bruce Lee, which I know that we have that same influence in common. This man started primitive skateboarding, and of course, his SB brand with Nike. This brother was one of the pillars to put skateboard cultural influence and impact in spaces that we only dreamt of, like the Olympics. Can I say it again? Skateboarding in the Olympics. He took his influence, his love, his appreciation for the art form, and just shared it with the world. The man that I'm talking about is a skateboarder, an actor, and I heard he's an MC.
No, I don't know how that rumor got started.
Okay, I heard he's an MC.
So many people ask me that. I don't know how that got started.
Bro, the
I
man
wish.
I'm talking about, who's gonna have to kick a little bar or two,
Okay.
is my brother. Give it up for Paul Rodriguez Jr., aka P-Rod.
Yeah. My man, thank you for such a warm introduction, a warm welcome. So I appreciate you.
So the rumor is rapper?
I literally have no idea how that rumor got started. I'm a huge hip hop fan.
Okay, so let's stay there.
Yeah.
Hip hop fan.
Okay.
So what I like to do with our guests is I like to start our interview with rocking a verse. It could be lines from your favorite verse.
Okay.
It could be a song, a melody, a hook. But let's rock a verse before we start our interview.
Okay.
You kick one, I'll kick one.
Okay, let me see it. Let's see. Dead in the middle of little did we know that we riddled some middleman who didn't do diddly.
Big pun.
Yeah.
Love that one. Give me that beat, fool. It's a full-time Jack move. Who's that?
Cube?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Cube.
sir.
Give me some power for that. I'm going to continue it with a verse that I wrote because I love that line, but I want to kick a verse because we're talking about 2026. We still live in the Altadena fires, the aftermath. So I'm going to kick a verse that I wrote with my daughter. Our loved ones, the lost ones, they came from Altadena, Jackie Robinson's. So much history, now there's misery. How the fires got started is a mystery. Was it Edison? What's the deal, son? Should we blame the mayor? Oh, Gavin Newsom. Things got to change, like climate change. 100-mile winds brought a lot of pain, a lot of stress on the brain, got to maintain. God save us all. Please let it rain. Not enough water, putting out the flames. Who's in charge of that? Where the budget at? Spending our tax dollars, who's getting taxed? Even Jake from State Farm giving money back. Altadena strong, Pasadena strong. Malibu, Palisades gonna live long. Stand strong.
Hey.
So I like to start the interview with that, kind of like
break the ice.
Take an exhale.
Yeah.
Usually with my kids, whether it's my daughter or my boys, we used to freestyle in the car before we get to school, just to get the brain working, get ready for our day. So let's take
I like that.
Let's take the viewer into the humble beginnings of P-Rod. You know, you are an icon, and your dad is such an icon for what he's done and continues to, inspire us from comedy to film. Let's talk about what it was like for you as a kid.
Yeah, man. So I say I had a very blessed childhood. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley, Northridge. At the time that I was born, my dad was just starting to hit his prime in his career, really take off. So I was fortunate enough to watch him excel in his career, in his dream. And to me, I always tell people this now as I got older, I realized that the real blessing from that was I saw somebody living their dream. So to me, that was normal.
Right.
That was just what you did. I thought if you had a dream, that's what you did. You chased it and you pursued it. So automatically my mentality was like, I didn't have any of these, like the negative talk, like, I don't know, can I do it? Can I not do it? I just thought that's what you're supposed to do. So anytime I had a little hobby that I fell in love with, I thought that's what I was going to be. Like first time I saw a Bruce Lee movie,
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was going to be the next action star.
Right.
Then I saw Jimi Hendrix in a documentary and I wanted to be the greatest guitar player in the world. So I started taking lessons. And then I seen Nolan Ryan was my favorite baseball player. I wanted to be a pitcher. So I got into Little League. Like I would always start these little hobbies with the intention of like taking it all the way.
Yeah.
And then skateboarding came along, same mentality, same mindset. And it just
What was
stuck.
the first skateboard experience that you had? Like, did you see somebody? Did you see Lance Mountain or Tony Hawk? Or what was your introduction?
So my introduction was actually just kids at school.
Okay.
I went to 7th grade in Northridge called Holmes Junior High, and I would walk to school in the morning. And I was a shy, small kid. And I would notice every morning there was these kids before school skating in the parking lot. And I would find myself every day like just kind of standing off in a distance and just being enamored by it and just watching like, wow, how do they do that? Like they can jump, they could flip it, they could land, they could keep riding. And so probably after like a month or so, I worked up enough courage to like walk up to one of them, introduce myself and like ask if I could try standing on his board and, see if he would let me. And he did. He let me and he ended up becoming a lifelong friend of mine. And as soon as I stood on that board, like it's like the sky opened up and the angels were like, oh, like it just, that was like for me.
Yeah.
And from then on, I was hooked. So, I just skated every waking hour, every second I wasn't in school, every second I didn't have to be asleep, I was skating.
How old were you when you first got on this board?
I was about a little bit before I turned 12 because, this would have been like October,
Middle school?
November of 96.
Mhm.
So my birthday's in December. So it would have been just before I turned 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was about that age. And I never looked
Did
back.
it come supernatural to you when you just got on? You just had the balance and the
I wouldn't
gift?
say it just came naturally, like all of a sudden I was good, but the passion was natural to me.
Mhm.
The love for it,
Right.
the hunger was just, I had no control over that. I just was in love with it, obsessed with it. But I would like to say I do have a certain amount of athleticism that I think naturally I was gifted with.
Did you play baseball?
I did,
before
yeah.
that?
Yeah,
I played ball too. Third base.
Sick. Yeah, I was pitcher and shortstop because I'm lefty.
Yeah. So I've always like speaking about dreams and like that aha moment. It happened to me twice when I played third base for Little League. I was like, yo, I want to be a baseball player. And then when I
Yeah.
saw Beat Street and breaking,
Nice.
and I was like, yo, I'm a dancer because I used to dance in my grandmother's living room. But then when I really figured out, like, I'm going to be a B-boy, I'm a break. This is the art form that I really want to tap into.
Mm-hmm.
In turn, it allowed me to practice performing and stage presence and what it was like to hype a crowd up with my dancing or whatever that performance was. Did you feel that same thing? Like, yo, this is my calling. Like, I want to take this art form, which was 96. That was
Yeah.
like, it was coming up, like really.
Yeah, street skating was starting to be the popular
Right.
thing at that point. But 100%, everything you just said, I totally related to that. Like
Right.
when I got on that board, I just knew that like this was meant for me. This spoke to my soul. And like I'm naturally a shy kid. So like that skateboarding like made me feel comfortable expressing myself that way.
Mhm.
I didn't feel shy expressing myself on a skateboard. And it just, what I also loved about it is that I didn't have to wait on anybody. Like you want to play baseball, you got to have other people to play
Of
with.
course.
Any type of other sport, you got to like, there's got to be other people involved. But, I can go out in my backyard and practice all day, all night on a trick and have a blast.
Right.
Hours would just go by and I wouldn't even notice until my mom finally told me, all right, come on, come in, go to bed, you know, come eat dinner.
Right.
And I was just hooked. I would go up in my room, I'd watch videos, and it was like still VHS tapes at that time. So I would rewind and slow-mo every single move from all my favorite skaters, study it, like downloading information.
Who were you studying at that time? Who were some of your guys?
So early on, my first ever favorite skater was Kin Lu, Donger. He went by the name Donger. Yeah.
I
He had
remember
long
Donger.
ass hair, braided ponytails, cool looking Asian dude. And he could ollie so high. I couldn't believe how high this guy could jump. So like before I understood the tricks and everything, I did understand like jumping high was incredible. So it was Donger. And then soon after that, it was Costin, Andrew Reynolds, Tom Penny, Muska, Jeff Rowley, all that era of superstars. Kareem,
Stevie?
I could go on. Stevie came a little later, but yeah, Stevie as well. I was just like in love with it, and I would just study all these guys, had all their posters on my wall, everything, and just.
Did you ever feel, when you were skating, did you ever feel like you wanted to get into acting at any point? Because I know your dad was influential.
For sure. So before I started skating, that's what I was doing, going on auditions and stuff, because my dad had like got me an agent and my mom would take me to auditions, but I was so young and I was such an energetic kid that like I hated, especially I'm in the Valley. All the auditions back then were in Hollywood.
Right.
So I'd get off school, I would just want to either go play with my friends or just relax. And I'd have to get in the car, go in traffic, go to Hollywood, do an audition. And like, I was doing that multiple times a week for a while. And I just started to hate it, the audition process. And like I told you, I was also really shy too. It was hard for me to go in those audition rooms and like, express myself. So I got over that pretty quickly. But later on, I started getting a real bug for acting and wanting to do it and pursue it. I went to acting class for about 5 years, all the way up until COVID hit pretty much. And then I hadn't gone back since, which I should. But I really enjoyed the process of going to acting class, working with other actors, like breaking out of my shell.
Right.
Because it really helps with your confidence, like it's hard for me to like really like start getting outgoing until I'm comfortable in an environment. So I'd say the bug now has hit me in the last 10 or so years. And so we'll see. Once skateboarding kind of winds down, I'll probably go back to trying to really pursue it. But I'm in a stage right now where I'm like, let me just give skateboarding my everything for this last window. I don't know how long it'll be, a year, 2 years. I don't know. I'm already 41 now. So let me just give it my all so that when I walk away from it, I feel like I got it all out of my system. And then I can give my attention to what's next.
Can we just give flowers to the fact that his dad set the tone for, representation in comedy and film, when we didn't have a lot of Mexicans representing on film and television, Paul, your dad, is so influential and such a pillar in comedy, going up against greats like Robin Williams and freaking Billy Crystal and Whoopi Goldberg at that time, and always seeing Paul Rodriguez headlining and films. Like, what was that like growing up, knowing that your dad was so influential? Because I know that I have my kids and it's like, yo, I don't ever want to feel that my kids have to live up to a Black Eyed Peas level of success, but they can carve out just how you carved out your own success. I want to speak on that because that's important. A lot of people think like, oh, when you're walking in the shadows of your parent that's in the industry, but you have carved out your own identity outside along with what your dad has done.
Yeah.
Because I have kids that, are aspiring voice actors and my other son plays guitar. So I always tell them, like, I don't want you to ever have to compete with, like, I got to be the next Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
Because that's not what it's about. It's about empowering whatever you're into. So let's talk about that with your dad, like, because I want to really give him his flowers as well.
No, man. It's crazy. It took me to get a little older to understand, when I was really, really young, I didn't get it. You know what I mean? Like, I just was like, that's my dad, just felt normal. But as I got older, I realized like how legendary his career has been and the things he's accomplished, and especially because he's Mexican, because he came from, you know, Compton, you know what I mean? Straight from Mexico first, then grew up in Compton, worked his way out of there just all off his talent. And it's pretty incredible to like look back and think about his story and what he had to go through to just get in a position to make a career out of it. And then how much of a pioneer he was in the actual craft of comedy. He was the first in many ways. And it's actually really hard for me to even put it in words. It's just so impressive. Like all the names you just mentioned, like you go to I still go to the Comedy Store all the time because ironically, I'm now friends with a lot of comics of this generation.
Yeah.
And so I'm always going to their shows, and it's cool. Every time I walk in any comedy club, there's big ass pictures of my dad
That's
there
dope,
when he was
dude.
younger coming up.
Yeah.
The Comedy Store has his name up on the front wall there. And I'm just like, every time I walk in, I'm just like, damn, like,
and that's when
this dude really
representation
did
was
that.
we didn't have it, and your dad was the pillar, bro.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, I'm the person that always wants to give flowers and props to the people that have inspired us. You know, I'm an East LA product. I came from East LA, Boyle Heights, and then I moved to Rosemead. Now I'm in Pasadena, but East LA was synonymous for the idea of sometimes you don't make it out. So when Born in East LA came out, and I saw your dad in that movie, like it showed me like, yeah, it was funny and Cheech did a great thing, but it was like, yo, I'm a kid from East LA too. I can be put on the map if I work my ass off. And that work ethic was something that, you know, I aspired since I was a kid and wanted to really pursue, like the work ethic, the practice, what you said earlier about watching the tape. That's what I would do with b-boying or breaking or dancing. I would see the steps and, oh, damn, they're doing the atomic drop or they're doing this routine. And, you know, I want to speak to our younger demographic about the idea of practice.
Yeah.
Because it took a lot of comedy sessions, you know, the improv, going to the ice house for your dad to work on his chops.
Oh, yeah.
As you did with skateboarding. Talk about that, because we have a young audience too.
First and foremost, I would say is like, you have to find that thing first and foremost that you love to like a degree that's almost considered like weird or crazy. You know, you have to love it that intensely because
like an obsession, like Kobe with basketball.
It literally has to be an addiction.
Yeah.
Because that way practice isn't a chore. It's like you're compelled to do it. You have to do it.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say, like really search high and low for the thing that makes you feel that way. And once you feel that way about something, then you just spend every waking second, every free moment that you can just doing that, blocking the world out and just diving deep into it. And, you know, you have to be comfortable with the fact that you're going to fall down more times than you're going to succeed. And in my world, it's actually literally fall down more than I land.
Yeah.
And that's what happens, because you can't get to a level of mastery until you've mastered messing up over and over and over and over. You just keep messing up in better ways. Like I heard Will Smith say, like, you fail forward. You know what I mean? So you just have to be okay with failing. That's why I think a lot of people don't get as far as they want, because, you know, that pain of failure early on just feels too intense, and that kind of consumes them, and then they back away. You have to find a way to push yourself through that discomfort of failure, whether it's like a performative thing of you have audience and you're afraid of being judged by the audience, or afraid of people not liking what you're doing. You just have to keep going and know that like that's a vital part of the process, and you just have to just be ready for that and push through that, and just keep the big picture, like keep it there in your sights, and just don't let nothing veer you off of that.
I love that, because this is a new venture for me, ladies and gentlemen. I've been doing this podcast as healing, as a form of therapy, as a way to connect with my audience and let you guys know that every time I have an episode, I learn from my guest. And today I'm proud to call you a brother, because we've had moments outside of this where we've shared, you know, just broke bread and had dinner. And that was the last time we connected. But, you know, it's beautiful to hear those words, because, dude, like, I've had so many injuries from breaking, like ACLs and MCLs and knee injuries, broken tailbones. But it's like I fought through it so that I can master my craft as a b-boy, as a performer. You know, do you remember your most craziest injury?
Yeah. It was actually more in recent years. It was in 2018. Everything you just said, I tore my whole right knee up, all my ACL, MCL, PCL, both meniscuses, all in one go. I just went, the whole knee just pop, pop.
Was that was doing a trick?
Yeah, I was trying to trick down a set of 9 stairs, which isn't like a crazy, humongous set of stairs. It was just a freak accident. I landed weird, like on one leg. All my pressure in my body just landed down on my right leg, and it just gave out
Did
right
you hear
then
the
and
pop?
there.
I heard the pop too.
Yeah, I heard the pop, and it just felt in the moment like it just felt so creepy.
Right.
Like it wasn't even actual like pain. The pain took about like a minute or two to start setting in. After like my adrenaline calmed down and the swelling set in, that's when the pain was.
Course.
But that first was just like a weird, creepy feeling and a loud ass, and it was just, it sucked. But you know, looking back on it, and the healing process and everything that had to happen through that, it gave me a lot of time to reflect, a lot of gratitude, a lot of ways to look at how I was kind of taking certain things for granted. I wasn't challenging and pushing myself as much as I could have at that point.
Right.
You know, at that point I was already pretty established, and I was in my early 30s, and I was already thinking like, all right, you know, I've probably done my best. My best days are behind me. I'm kind of just having fun here and going through the motions. But like that gave me a new fire. Like, okay, you have this injury. Can you come back from this injury? And can you actually improve and get better and prove to yourself that you still got a lot more life left in you? And, you know, it's been 8 years since. I've been back skating pretty strong in those years, and feel healthy, feel grateful. And I just framed it in the sense of like all my heroes that I ever looked up to, they had a moment like this. They had something like this
Bruce
that
Lee
they
with
had
the
to
back.
overcome. With the back.
Kobe with the Achilles.
And so it's just like everybody has dealt with this. So if you want, say you aspire to be a great like some of these guys, well, here's your time to show it.
Yeah, man. And like with those failures and those falls, it's dusting yourself off, the healing process of really reassessing and seeing the priorities and what really matters. Like for me, dude, going on 12 years of being cancer-free this year.
God bless, man.
Like, thank you. I went through trauma, went through crazy experiences. I've talked on this podcast many times, but the reality is the healing process has been so gratifying. Humility, gratefulness, gratitude, you know, appreciation for a higher purpose, and just my belonging to be able to share space now in this new form of being able to appreciate every moment that I'm on this earth.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't an injury. I was battling mortality.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just like to leave a lesson with people, because I want people to also take away, as much as you're a genius and your talent, you're also human. We go through trials and tribulations to be able to have a bigger bounce back. Minor setbacks for a bigger bounce back.
Comeback, yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, man. I mean, and that learning process never stops. Like I feel like just right now in this last 3 years or so, is I'm actually learning how to become an adult, you know, because, you know, I've been super blessed to be doing the same thing I've been doing since I was 12 years old. From 12 all the way now, I'm 41.
Same.
So almost 30 years I've been able to do the same thing. So in many ways, I still have those young childhood tendencies, young childhood, teenage, early 20 mindset and behaviors. So in many ways, I never matured.
Right.
Even though I was able to like mature in my career, in many ways as a man, I didn't mature until recent years. I started going through certain things in my personal life and experiencing certain things that like I realized like, oh my gosh, I miss all my friends who didn't have this experience. Like they learned and matured in ways like the normal person would mature in, I guess. And so I found I hit some roadblocks in my life the past few years, and I had to be like, oh man, I gotta grow up. I have to like face certain things head on. I have to like handle certain things in certain ways that I never learned because I was still always doing my same thing that I was doing as a kid.
Was there a
So
specific thing that you had to face that like comes to mind that was like your coming to Jesus moment, so to speak?
there's been a few, brother. There's
Yeah.
been a few, but like one, I dealt with my first heartbreak. That one taught me a lot. I'd never been through that before.
Yeah.
You know, just stuff with my daughter growing up from being, you know, a young kid to now being like almost an adult,
Yeah.
and how I have to like handle and mature as an adult, because like I was a kid raising a kid.
Yeah.
How old
And
are you?
when she was born, I was 23.
Mhm.
And you know, I was, you know, old enough, but like I was still like a kid.
No,
you
you're
know,
a kid at 20.
I was a kid for sure. I mean, I still am.
Yeah.
So there's been certain situations with her, and that I have to like grow up and like be an adult about, and you know, be a dad about, not just be like the homie or
Mhm.
whatever. You know, I mean,
Yeah, 'cause
she's a
probably
good
what,
kid
her senior year
overall.
of high
But
school now?
she's in 11th grade. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, 11th, because she just turned 17 in December.
yeah.
But
One kid?
one kid, yeah,
Yeah.
one kid, and so just certain things like that. You know, certain family things that I have to manage. That like felt overwhelming
Mhm.
because I didn't know how to handle it. I just was like,
Right.
skateboarding always solved my problems before. And now it's like, okay, no, like skateboarding is not going to get you out of this one. You have to learn how to face it head on, talk to people. I started going to therapy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
therapy's great, dude.
Therapy's great. I
Yeah,
go to therapy
awesome.
once a week, like all these things, like, you know, just realizing like I need to work on me, you know, getting back into the word, going back to church, like trying to get myself, in a good mental emotional spot, because I had never been mentally emotionally like thrown off before, because life was always good and well. I'm just skateboarding, you know, everything's kind of coming to me. Got sponsors, you know, financially I'm doing good, and then, you know, you hit a certain point where you realize like, okay, like all that stuff doesn't solve every problem.
Exactly. I agree.
And then there's certain things internally that you didn't know were building up all those
Mhm.
years. You know, certain inner demons or just emotional things that you didn't realize were even being suppressed because they were being distracted by the glitz and the glamour of your life. And then once you get in those quiet moments and you realize these things start creeping up on you, and you start feeling these things you never felt before, and you're like, don't know how to handle it and don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know, so that's some things I've been learning.
I agree, because honestly, for a long time, it was just me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
And then once you have kids and you're like, wait, oh, damn. I like collecting toys. I like comic books. I like freaking sneakers.
Yeah.
That's the kid in me.
Yeah.
But I know that I have to be there for my daughter and my sons and my wife, and know that I still have to adult. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Even though I have this podcast, it's like all about like, oh, storytelling and nostalgia. At the end of the day, like I do this because I have a purpose to be able to be emotionally connected,
Mhm.
emotional intimacy with my wife
Mhm.
beyond physical.
Yeah.
'Cause
That's
it's
stuff's hard,
this-
bro.
It is,
Yeah.
dude. It's the psyche. It's the understanding, you know, being there, nurturing, supporting, understanding. Because it's a lot of mental stuff that I'm not
Yeah.
aware,
Right.
you know? And you're like, wait, okay, I got to talk to my daughter different than I talk to my sons, because it's a different type of parenting. But therapy has helped me. And I'm glad that you touched on that. Before we get into the Nikes and the shoes and all that
Mhm,
stuff,
mhm.
people have to know that at the end of the day, these conversations are essential to understand this genius as a human being.
Mhm.
Because a lot of people know the greatness, and sometimes you have to also bring the human side so people can really connect with you and understand like, oh, yo, I got to know P-Rod as a dad,
Mhm.
as a person that's failed and got back up,
Mhm.
who has the worst enemy is your inner me,
Mhm.
right? That's what I
Mhm.
said before, is like, you're always in your own head.
Yeah.
And you have all these little trinkets and toys that are like, oh yeah, the sponsorships, this and that.
Yeah.
But the
At
thing
some
doesn't
point, it's
go
a
away.
distraction.
It's
Yeah.
a distraction. It doesn't go away. Like if you're having issues with family or parenting or adulting, that's a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, for me, it's like I turn to overindulging in consumption.
Mm-hmm.
And now for 18 years, I've been removed from that time period because I found therapy to really be an asset, to really help my mind and how I can reset myself and really be pragmatic of how I approach situations. Because it's important.
I love that.
I'm growing, man.
Yeah.
I'm 50 now.
Wow, dude, you look amazing.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, dude.
50.
Ah, awesome.
How old are
I
you
love
now?
it. 41.
dope.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I'm just proud of you, man. I'm proud
Thank
of
you,
the
brother.
fact that you have become such a great force as a human being. I want to get into your transition from like street skating to now. What was the first introduction to like the X Games? What was that world?
So my first X Games, I believe, was in 2003. I was 18 at the time, and at that time, X Games was an invite only thing.
Right.
So I was just doing my thing in the streets, skating, not necessarily even worried about competing in contests. And one day I get a call asking if I'd like to enter the X Games. I said, yeah, why not? Like, let's give it a shot. We'll see what we can do.
And X Games was fairly new at that time, huh? Kind of.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was like 6-7 years
Mhm.
It was
in
like
at that
mid-90s,
point.
I think, when it first kicked off.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
but-
like 96 or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
I'm not sure.
Mhm.
No, not the 03 one.
No.
No, that was the first year they did it on the side of Staples Center.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said Staples Center, dude.
Yeah, no,
I can't call it
yeah, no,
crypto.
It's still
same.
I can't
Staples
call it
Center.
crypto.
Nah, I can't, dude.
You
I
all
can't,
right?
If we're gonna
I
keep
ain't
it
getting
real,
down with that.
if we're gonna keep it real, it's the house Kobe built.
It's for
Bro.
sure the house Kobe
Facts.
built, and it's Staples. You
Yep,
know, he's
Staples.
the staple of that
Exactly.
building. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Let's go.
Right.
So I had got a call, and then that first year, I think I got third place, and then came back next year, won. Came back the year after, won, and then you know, on the business side of things, that's where like bigger sponsors started taking notice to me because you know at that time it was ESPN broadcast. You get on Sports Center, if you get in the highlights and all that, and so that's where my name really started growing, along with the Nike partnership. And that's when my career started like growing outside of just the core world of skateboarding.
Because Nike hadn't tapped into skateboard culture, right?
They had tried. So they had tried in like late 90s, very early 2000s, and it didn't really take off.
Mhm.
And then maybe like 2002-ish, they got a team of skaters, a few core guys, like well-respected guys in skateboarding, which was, I think, a smart move on their part. Like they didn't come in like big Nike, we're throwing money at it, because skateboarding didn't take well to that.
Mhm.
And so they got some core guys, established a good foundation with them, and then they got to a point around 2004 where they were looking for like, I guess, more of like a franchise player kind of guy. And I was super honored when I got the call that they felt that I could be that guy for them. And you know, that's where my life really changed as far as career goes. Yeah.
And that was the first time that you were going to wear a signature shoe, or you had to work to that?
So I was actually already wearing samples of a signature with the brand that I was with before.
Okay.
And it just happened to be a perfect time where we were in the middle of negotiating my pro contract with them. And Nike came and they you know, made me an offer. I thought it sounded great. And my agent was, you know, breaking it down for me, everything. And I was like, oh man, this all sounds awesome. Super excited. But are they planning on doing any signature shoes?
Yeah.
And she goes back to them, talks to them. She comes back and tells me, she goes, well, they're not planning on doing any signature shoes for skateboarders. And I was like, dang it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everything sounds good, but I already am skating a shoe with my name on it from the brand that I wanted to skate for at that time growing up. And I told her, I can't believe this at 19, how, you know, I look back on this and I'm like, oh man, that was a ballsy move. But I just told them, okay, we'll tell them thank you, but I'm going to stick with where I'm at, because my dream is to have a signature shoe and a signature board. And my dream just wouldn't be complete if I didn't have a signature shoe. And she's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, this is my dream. I won't be happy if that's the case, you know? So she went back to them, told them, and thank God they came back and said, okay, we'll do it.
Okay, we'll do it.
Yeah.
They don't know what their future's going to be, but we'll do it.
Yeah.
He almost
And
tricked
you know,
off fucking Nike.
and here we are 10 shoes later. And now my first shoe retroing for the 20-year anniversary. I couldn't script this any
You
better.
gotta take
Just
one
all
off
glory
so
to
it's
God.
in the line of the
Can
camera.
we get
and
a
it's
round of applause for that?
Talk
Yeah, so-
about the shoe and how it came together.
So
and-
this is the
and
newest
the Kobe connection to it.
Yeah, so this is the P-Rod 1. It originally came out in 2005, and last year in 2025, we re-released it for the 20-year anniversary. It's the first Nike SB to ever be retroed, which is another, I'm super honored. And this is the first signature shoe that Nike ever did for a skateboarder. So I'm
Wow.
very
Beautiful.
proud of that.
It's
Thank
super
you.
beautiful, bro.
And so it was received really well again for the 20-year anniversary. And so they're keeping it in the line. And so this year we're coming out with colorways that we never did before. Like we did the original colorways last year, and this year we're going to do brand new colorways that never came out. And so this one, you know, Kobe, obviously a big hero of all of ours, is a huge influence to me. I was fortunate enough to spend some time with him, you know, during my career at Nike. Got to spend many moments with him, and big inspiration. So I wanted to, you know, pay homage to him, and I didn't want to just do the standard Laker color basic.
Right.
So the design team and I, we really thought about it, and we landed on the 2010 All-Star game.
When he wore the red ones, right?
The jersey color.
The jersey was red and gold, yeah.
This was the jersey color. So that was the inspiration.
That's dope.
For the 2010 All-Star game. And so this year, All-Stars here in LA, and the shoes dropping around that weekend.
Do we get a sneak peek?
Oh, can we get a pair?
Can we get a pair?
Let me talk to my plug, man. Of course you can get a pair. Of course you can get a
Get a
pair.
pair for the show.
Because we all big Kobe fans.
Oh, yeah,
of course,
And,
of course,
you
of
know,
course.
he, like you said, he was a hero to all of us.
Yeah.
And we honor him a lot throughout our ecosystem of shows,
Yep.
whether it be Sean. Matter of fact, we just sent Sean all the stuff from a show where, you know, Boys to Men sang the day of the Grammy, the day Kobe passed. The Grammys were the same day.
Wow.
And Alicia Keys and Boys to Men performed that night.
Yeah.
It's so hard to say goodbye last minute. So we just talked about that. So
Yeah, bro.
we're
that
trying
was
to
tough,
build
bro.
sympathy for you
That
to get
was
us
like
some sneakers.
I was crying for weeks.
Me too,
like,
dude.
randomly.
I haven't cried like that ugly cry for a long time.
Bro,
Seriously.
it was
Yeah, it was one of those few where like it in your gut, it just for weeks it just felt fucking terrible.
it'd be just at random times. All of a sudden, a thought would come in, and I'll just be no matter where I was. It was
Can I say this? Because you're a girl dad. I'm a girl dad too. So it hit me hard. Even though I know Vanessa and Natalia, and I met Gigi and Kobe before Bianca and Capri. The relationship he had with his daughters was so powerful.
very,
bro.
very
Like,
special.
Special.
Yeah, man. He was different because like you could tell like he gave the same focus and effort that he did in basketball to his children,
Yes.
to the business career that he was developing that was
Mamacita.
becoming extremely successful. Like you could tell he took that same mindset, the Mamba mentality, and just applied it in every category that was important to him.
Yeah.
That's something to like really admire, because like a lot of people, they have that mindset for their one thing, their career, but like other parts of their life are just falling apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Myself included, I'm a victim of that, you know, but like being able to realize that and try to then change that around and clean up and put that effort into other areas of your life is, I think, a valuable skill.
What did he
And
teach you,
He
P-Rock?
really showed
You
that.
spent time with him. What did he teach you? Was there a moment that you kind of felt like he gave you a gem?
Not so much in words. It was just like I was always so nervous around him too. Like he was like
He's Kobe
Kobe,
Bryant.
and I would just be like so shy, but I would just be stoked to be around him. And he just was like, he was just always so nice to me and so cool. And first time I met him, we were doing a thing in LA. It was like different athletes of LA, and I was like the new guy on Nike. And it was like Serena, myself, Kobe. I forget who. I think Bo Jackson might have been there.
Just a bunch of greatness.
Bo
Yeah,
Jackson?
he might have been there.
That's a
just
mic drop
Michael
right there.
Johnson, I think. It was like LA athletes, and they bust kids in from different school districts, and like just had us come hang out with them, talk with them. But we were sitting in the back area in our little like green room areas. Everybody had a separate area, and I'm just chilling there like with, I forget who I had with me at the time, but all of a sudden somebody comes in and says, "Hey, Mr. Rodriguez," like, "Hi, Kobe would like to say hi to you." Huh? Like, what?
Me?
Yeah, like,
Right?
yeah, Kobe heard you're here. He'd like to say hi to you. Want to come with me? I was like, yeah. So she walks me over to his room. They were just like giving him a little powder because he was about to go on stage and talk. And he was sitting down. And he just looks to the side. "What's up, man?" And I'm just like, "Hi, sir. How are you?" Like got so awkward,
Right.
so uncomfortable. Like, "Hi, sir. How are you?" He's like, "Hey, man. Like, I really like what you do, man." He's like, man, I tried to skate when I was like 16, man. I busted my ass. I never did that again.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know how to respond. I didn't know how to talk. And I was just like so hyped. But then every time I saw him after that, it was like the same energy. It was just so cool. And, I got to be in one of his commercials, a little cameo in one of his commercials. He cameoed in one of my commercials. And like, he just showed me love. But, as far as gems and advice in person, like I never really like worked up the courage to like try to ask for anything. But like, just by studying him, watching all his interviews, and that's where I learned, just by like watching and observing him as we all did.
One question, what would you have asked him now, looking back? If you could have mustered up the courage to ask him one question.
Man, that's a tough one because
what about you, Tab?
He's kind of.
I got a question that I asked him that I shouldn't have asked him.
Oh,
taboo style.
I asked him a question that I shouldn't have asked him.
What'd you ask him?
But he responded with humor. I was like, "Yo, Kobe, yo, would you be down to do a song with me?" And he's like, "Nah, man, I don't do that. I don't rap anymore, bro." He like laughed about it because remember he had a rap career.
Yeah, the whole album.
He's like, he's like, nah, I don't do that. I was like, come on, man, it'll be like I was kind of joking, but really not.
Yeah,
because I wanted to check the temperature.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, man, I'll stay in my lane. That's what y'all do. I'll stay in my lane. But it was a funny little banter back and forth of, just his humility and his humor.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I learned from Kobe being at Disneyland with him, his family and my family is how private he was with his daughters and how he wanted, like, for example, because I was filming at that time, I was filming like, oh, I'm in Disneyland, blah, 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 not thinking anything of it.
Yeah.
And I was filming us as all of us together.
As the group.
And he called me. He's like, Tab, like, I noticed you were filming. Yo, don't post my daughters online. I was like, oh, shit. Kobe just hit me up. Like, don't post my daughters online. And I was like, yo, okay, Kobe, I got you, bro. But it was just that moment of like him being my boy to have enough mindset to be like, yo, my daughters is private.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's like, it could be maybe feel uncomfortable between friends to do that. But,
it was dope, bro. And I felt that power of like.
Did it make you feel a little embarrassed?
I felt embarrassed because I'm like, yo, Kobe just won a championship.
Yeah.
And we just performed at the Staples. And he checked me. And I'm like, yo, but that's my brother checking me, right?
Yeah.
And that was the moment that I felt like, yo, Kobe is all about his daughters, bro. And I love it. I didn't have my daughter at the time. So I couldn't.
You didn't get it.
I didn't get it, but I understood. Yeah, man, Kobe really, really set the tone for us, bro.
Another thing I noticed being around him was like, you could tell that he understood what he meant to people, not in an arrogant, not in a cocky way, but like whether it's kids or everybody, they looked up to him so much. And I feel like he really honored that and respected that, like how I seen him interact with everyone, including myself. Very patient, you know what I mean? Like sometimes that's got to be like overwhelming. Like the guy can't have 2 seconds of just like chilling. But like he really, I always saw him just really honor that and really make everybody feel like they got their moment with him. And it was really awesome.
It was my first time having a Michael Jackson moment with Kobe Bryant. At Disneyland.
That's amazing.
So they had just won the championship, 2010.
Yeah.
We had performed at the Staples Center. Vanessa's like, yo, why don't you bring the family to Disneyland? I didn't know what VIP meant until I went with Kobe Bryant. I had no idea. Bro, I lied to you not. It was like the whole freaking Disneyland was just pictures like.
Where do you park when you go with Kobe? Because you don't park
You park at the hotel. The VIP at the hotel.
And there's like a tunnel that goes to. Okay.
And basically just the idea of the bigness of Kobe Bryant as an enigma, the way probably Michael Jackson was when he would be in a room, right?
Yeah.
Or in a freaking place, in a setting. I had never witnessed that.
It must be insane. I can't even fathom that.
Did people leave you guys alone to walk through the park, or was it like a mob following?
It was a mob, but we had like so many security, and it was just like, any ride he went on, it was just
LA,
pictures around.
Dude, yeah.
And he had just won the championship.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's no chance, right? Like no chance in being incognito at
No.
all.
But you know what? We had the blessing to be able to be in his grace, to spend time with him, have our personal moments. So, you know, I want to dedicate this show to Kobe
Let's
Bryant.
do
We
it.
could do
Yes,
that.
please.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Shout out
because
Kobe.
shout out Kobe. I know January 26th was
Yeah,
a couple
yeah,
days
yeah.
ago. So I want to, in memory of Kobe Bryant and Gigi and the families
Yeah.
that we lost
Mhm.
that day, you know, this show's dedicated.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out and God bless him, man.
And shout out to Vanessa and Natalia and the Capri and Bianca. You know, they're still continuing the legacy of
Yeah.
Mamba and Mambacita Sports.
She's done such a good job too.
Done a
You gotta
great
give
job.
hats off because that's got to
Amazing.
be a weird place for her
Yeah.
to be mom and wife and just doing that, being like, you
I
got to
mean,
run
the
this
strength
empire.
that she has to have, you know,
Yeah.
like, bro.
Well, you're
Can't
not
even
only
imagine.
that, you're running an empire now. Like now, all of a sudden, Kobe was making the decisions. Now she's got to
Yeah.
do it all by herself.
Hard.
That's got to be tough.
Yeah, man.
One of the things that I wanted to touch on, speaking about Mamba mentality, was your the way that you treat skating as, you know, a structured training discipline. You built your empire with Primitive, Nike SB. Like you have so many things that you've done. How do you find time for yourself? Like what are practices besides therapy? Because we talked about that. You know, in this crazy world of go, how do you find time for yourself?
It can be tough sometimes for sure. I like to spend a lot of time in prayer. But then a lot of times when I'm home and I have like a day off, like sometimes I'm just cooped up in my room.
Mhm.
I just be in my room watching documentaries, doing some reading,
What kind of
stretching. It really could be about anything and everything, whatever is catching my eye at the moment. I like a lot of like biography type
Mhm.
documentaries. You know, I'll go through my sports ones. One that's really interesting to me lately is called Facing Nolan. It's one all about Nolan Ryan.
Yeah,
Oh
Netflix.
man,
That came
that
out a
dude.
couple years ago.
That was dope.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen
but
it.
I've
Yeah,
watched
I've
it like 5 times. I hadn't watched it in like a year or so, and then the other day I got back into it, watched
Why
it
are you
over
so
again.
enamored with him? Just,
Bro, he
That dude was a
was a
brawler.
beast.
He was a brawler
no, I
too.
get it, but I'm
Yeah.
saying, like,
give a fuck.
but you know, obviously a Texas guy,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't
a white
care,
guy.
bro.
You're obviously
Yeah.
Latino and from
Yeah.
California. What was the connection for you with Nolan Ryan?
His energy, his spirit, his mindset. Like, you know, you can look at all the greats. If you take away the exterior stuff about them, they all have the same spirit within them.
Right.
Whether it's Bruce Lee, Tom Brady, Kobe, Nolan Ryan,
MJ.
Muhammad Ali, MJ, all these guys.
Yeah,
Like they have that. It's almost like they have that same spirit in them, I guess. And so, like when I see that in somebody, I'm automatically drawn to them, and I just want to know everything I can about
you
them
met him?
and study them. No, I never met Nolan Ryan.
we got to set it up. So he's neighbors with a good friend of mine.
No way.
Yeah.
That's dope, bro.
No
So,
way.
Yeah,
so
I like that.
But just like the records, he has 50-something records that have still not been broken.
Isn't it nuts?
7 no-hitter
No-hitters.
games,
Yeah.
like the most strikeouts in history by over 1,000.
Yeah.
That's on some Gretzky shit. Like nobody
it
will
is.
ever
Yeah,
break
and
that
nobody can
record.
do it because now you can't even play the game.
It's true.
Like a pitcher can't play the whole game anymore. He played
6 innings.
the whole 27 years, played the whole game, and he got his last no-hitter in his last year. It was either his second to last year or his last year, and he was like, I don't know, like 42, 43.
Did you get to see him play?
Not in person, no, only on TV. And I don't know, just so many things about him, and just hearing him talk, his cool
Yeah.
accent, and like how like nonchalant he is. I don't know,
Exactly.
he just his whole thing just had me inspired, and so I just was watching that the other day.
That's dope.
Yeah, so
We
that's
got
how
a-
I kind of do my own.
We got a
time
pretty
for
dope,
myself.
you know, historic figure on the Dodgers this year, Shohei Ohtani.
He's super
I
historical.
mean, that guy is like batting, pitching.
He's on a run. He's on a real run right now, and like I'm looking forward to see like what his legacy turns into. But like, it's good to like that you just said that actually, because like it's good to like realize it in the moment. A lot of these times we don't realize
We
it
don't,
until
yeah.
it's past
Exactly.
in hindsight. But like when you can catch it in the moment, like yo, no, this is a special moment. I'm in the present. This is the moment that is going to be talked about in documentaries in years to come. I'm living in it right now. That's like
Can I tell
pretty
you?
cool.
Let's talk about a moment that you wish that you could have been more present. Because I talked about this last time. I wish I could have been more present in my Super Bowl performance in 2011. I wish I could have really understood the bigness of that. I was just working.
Yeah.
It was just another performance for me.
You're like one of those you can't see the forest for the trees type situation.
Exactly, dude. I was just in the moment, but I wasn't
You didn't soak it in.
I didn't soak it in.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, yo, I'm the first Native American Mexican dude performing at the freaking halftime show, Super Bowl. Like for me, as a cultural representative of our communities.
Yeah.
That was big, bro. A hip hop kid from East LA, B-boy.
You did the Super Bowl, bro. That's fucking sick.
That's
you know
insane.
What I mean? Like for me, I was just like, it's just another day. But then looking back later, I was like, man, how come I wasn't more present? How come I didn't take more pictures? How come I didn't buy a freaking jersey of me being at the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I mean, because had you been, you might not have been focused on the performance.
Bro.
You know what I mean?
But even after,
right.
I was like, okay, the game's over. Okay, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I didn't absorb it. And maybe that was me being selfish in that moment and not really understanding the bigness because it was just, I was working.
Yeah.
Black Eyed Peas was at the height of our career and it was just like job after job after job. And I don't want to look at it like that.
Right.
Because it was a special moment in our history. Was there a moment for you like that?
Ah, man. Yeah, there's been moments for sure. I think when I was filming my Today is a Good Day commercial that is the one where Kobe cameoed and Ice Cube cameoed in it with me during that whole filming of it. It was like a 3-4 day filming process. And there was this trick that I really wanted to film for the commercial. It was at Santa Monica Pier, big set of stairs that we permitted that day. And like, I was so concentrated on just making sure I was prepared to land this trick because they spent all this money, camera crew, permits, everything. So I'm like, if I don't get this trick, we just wasted all this money and the commercial is not going to hit the same, you know? So like, it's an iconic spot. So I spent, a couple months leading up to that, just training and practicing, drilling this trick over and over and over and over again, that when we were on set filming it, my head was so thinking about that trick that I didn't kind of also like stay overly in the moment. Like when Kobe came to do the cameo, it was at Loyola Marymount, and he was there actually just teaching like a basketball camp or making an appearance for a basketball camp, and his people were like, okay, you got 30 minutes with Kobe. He's coming in. Boom, he came in. I was so excited. We did, myself and Eric Costin did a couple tricks down the stairs while he walked up and like looked back at us. And then like, he was like, excited like about watching us do the tricks. I wish I'd have just been a little more locked in that moment, a little more locked in when I got to hang out with Ice Cube. Like, so I totally know what you feel and what you're saying there. But
it's like a double-edged sword though, right? Because if you're not focused, then maybe you don't land the trick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like,
and then if you are focused, you kind of bypass the moment to give Kobe that extra hug.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so, that's one time that's popping out in my mind. But I would say actually a lot more are things outside of my career, like just moments with my daughter when she's little as a baby that could have been more like, that I could have been a lot more.
I got a question for you guys.
In.
What's a sports moment that you wish you could have seen in person that you weren't at, obviously, but a moment you could have been at?
Oh, okay.
Because I know you're both a big sports fanatics.
So I'm going to stay in Kobe world. I'm going to go 81. Because we talked about 81. We just talked about 81.
Yeah.
This game where he hit 81 points. It's just like.
I'm going to say Rumble in the Jungle.
Ooh.
I'm going to say Rumble in the Jungle.
That would have been dope.
Man, imagine you could have been there.
Yeah.
That's classic.
Really, any Muhammad, one of his iconic fights, the second Sonny Liston fight, just boom, that shit was over quick.
Yeah.
But just like to be in those moments,
I'll give you mine. I wish I could have seen Bruce Lee and Kareem do their thing.
Oh yeah, like live on set.
Because Bruce Lee passed away before I was born.
Yeah.
So I didn't even get to see him even on TV alive. You know what I mean? Everything I saw, it was posthumous for him, right? So Bruce Lee with Kareem would have been
a good one.
Would have been really cool.
Yeah.
What do you have coming up?
So other than the shoe coming out, February 9th, there's a new contest series called the PSL. that I'm really looking forward to competing in. Actually, I'm gonna do a little bit of competing, maybe try one season, see how I'm looking, see how I'm feeling. But it's a brand new concept, brand new format of a skate contest that's never been done, that I think will actually be a format that will speak to people who don't even skate, just people who love watching sports and love competition can watch this and understand what's going on. So I'm really excited for it. It's called the PSL. The first event will be on February 7th. It'll be live streaming on YouTube. So that's what I'm focused on in this moment. And then I got something I'm really excited about coming next year. I guess I can't even really say it yet, but I'm really excited about it. It's like a thing that's like a real honor to have.
Dope. We got to tune in for that.
Yeah.
Check out the sneaker coming out February 9th.
Yes,
I
sir.
got one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Is LA Olympics on your radar?
Not as far as competing. I wish if Olympics was 10, 15 years ago, we were in there, I would definitely make a heavy run at it. At this point in my life, like when it comes to like competing, that same fight, that you focus and dedication that you got to do to compete, it's just not where it was at that point.
It would be dope to see you out there.
P-Rod in the
I'm
Olympics.
just saying, it's LA.
Yeah, it'd be
You're
great.
a staple for LA
I mean,
culture.
God willing, I can be a part of it
That's dope, yeah.
in some way.
Judging
be
or
there, or
something.
be some type of announcer, some type
yep.
of like presence.
Yeah, it's
that
true.
would be.
He's
I'd
an
be
OG
stoked
now.
to be part of that for sure.
Who's going to be the front? Yuto's going to be the front runner for
Yuto's
that
going to
again?
be coming back for his triple back to
Triple-
back. Let's see
triple
if he
crown.
could pull it off. These kids are on his heels though. They are progressing like
Who's the new Japanese kid I saw this?
that. You're probably talking about Jinwoo.
Yeah.
Little guy, long hair.
Smooth as ice.
Yeah, you got Jinwoo, you got Sora Shirai. Like Japanese skaters are having a huge
Why do they have
moment
so
right
much
now.
success? What's about the culture
I think
that makes
I think
them
it's
so good?
like I think it's Yuto really sparked it. Something about when you see like that happens. You see it in music too. Like
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
like all of a sudden like the down south hip hop just went crazy.
Yep.
It used to be New York before that, and then West Coast like I don't know why that phenomenon happens. It's like somebody sees somebody from their region and it pops off. Like with skateboarding before this, it was Brazil. Like the Brazilians were
What's
just
the girl
going.
that's incredible?
Leticia or
The
no,
one that
there's
skates with
Haisa.
Deshaun.
Haisa, that's
Yeah.
Haisa. Yeah,
Yeah.
She's
That's
amazing.
how breaking is too.
yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing. Is she going to make a run at the LA 28?
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
She'll be
yeah,
in
yeah.
the mix.
Yeah, she'll for sure. She's already skated the last two Olympics that skateboarding was in.
Did
I
she
believe
medal?
she podiumed both. I believe.
Oh, really?
Believe she podiumed on both of them. But I would imagine, God, unless no unfortunate circumstance happened, God willing, that she'll be there. She's barely just turned 18, so she's chilling. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to look out for P-Rod and all his ventures. I'm proud to call him a brother. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for P-Rod,
Thank you,
Paul
thank you.
Rodriguez.
Thank you, guys.
That's right, y'all. It's Taboo Nawasha, and I hope you enjoyed geeking out with me and going straight into geek mode. For more information, for more videos, subscribe, like, and comment. Share it with your friends. Much love. There it is.